What's up, homies? This is your boy Max back with another video for your fantasy success. This video is dedicated to Julian. My homie, you hit me up with a message on my comment section. Otherwise, I would not have put a video out. So this one's for you, big dog. And so I'm going to go ahead and go over it. You know what I'm saying? Let's get into some business right here. There's not a whole lot of great waiver wire picks, but I will go over a couple. Mainly what I'm focused on right now is trading, because I'm trying to create a dominant team for my playoff run, and I am poised for a playoff run. And if you've been following my advice, then you have been too. You know, I told you to pick up Trubisky before that 6 touchdown game, before he scored. What did he score? Oh, I got it written down here. 43 points. Next week, 27 points. Last week, 31 points. Nobody was on Trubisky like me, and I doubled down on it before that game. So I don't want to hear anybody bad-mouthing Trubisky. And now that they're all jumping on the bandwagon, you know who said it first when it was unpopular. All right, so I had to throw that little rant in there. But some of the guys here on blue, these are people you want to sell. If you got them on your team, you want to sell high. And some of these are controversial. I mean, Matt Ryan, Sony Michel, you want me to sell those guys? That's what I'm trying to say, exactly. You're supposed to sell those guys. So, you know, you sell high. That means when the value is high. Most people want to jump off the ship when it's looking bad. Well, guess what? No one wants to jump on that ship when it's looking bad. You got to have the foresight to get out of players when they still look good and jump into players when they don't look that good. So, can't let my bandana fall off. So, now these guys over here are going to be some of your waiver wire targets. All right, now, Kerryon Johnson, we're going to just go down the line. I'm going to try not to make this video too long. So, Kerryon Johnson's at an all-time high. The same thing I told you way back when in one of my earlier videos of this season, that Kerryon Johnson, no matter how good he is, he's not going to take over the pass-catching role for Theo Riddick, okay? He's just not. He's also not going to get the goal line work. He's just not. The only way is if someone gets hurt. But right now, there's all this hype on Kerryon Johnson. Well, I don't understand why these people don't see Theo Riddick coming back, but he's not injured for the year. He's not on IR. He's coming back. This is not a good person to hold on to. Sell him now while everybody's ranking him high. You might be able to pull someone good, okay? But you don't want him on your team for your playoff run because he's not going to be that good. And he's a great back, okay? Nothing against Kerryon. Now, down to Matt Ryan. I'm not saying to sell Matt Ryan for cheap. Just keep this in mind. When I say sell a player, I'm not saying get out quick. Well, I am on Kerryon. Get out of Kerryon, okay? But don't just jump out of Matt Ryan, because obviously he's got a great offense and a bad defense, can't run the ball, so that's a formula for success. However, right now I'm looking at schedules. The schedule is prime time important right now, because the schedule at the beginning of the year, when someone is ranked first and it's only been a couple of weeks, you can't tell for sure they're the first. You don't have enough data to really have an accurate reading. Now the readings are a lot more accurate. We want to pay a lot more attention to the schedule coming up, especially in the playoffs. My man, it doesn't matter if you make the playoffs. If you lose in the playoffs, it's still you didn't win. The only person who wins is the one who gets into the championship and wins it. I mean, it's simple, but look, you got to be thinking in your mind, I'm making the playoffs. And when I do, I want to have the best team. So trade Matt Ryan for someone very, very comparable. Drew Brees. The schedule, my homie, the schedule is so good for Drew Brees. Oh, it looks so good. The other guy you want to look at is, do I have him up here? No, Cam Newton. Cam Newton and Drew Brees are going to have the best playoff schedule in fantasy football for quarterbacks, and you want them on your team. So sell high right now. Matt Ryan is a great deal. You're not screwing anybody over. Okay, and you can probably trade Matt Ryan for Drew Brees straight up. So I would definitely do that, okay? Get rid of Matt Ryan, but don't sell cheap. Come on, man. I'm not saying drop him, all right? I'm not saying fire sale. Not that you would have anyways. But, yeah, sell him for someone high. Get into a guy who's going to get you a championship in the last 4 weeks of the season. Now, Sony Michel, I love Sony Michel. I was one of his biggest proponents. I almost made a video talking about he was going to be the next Kamara, but I decided to hold my guns a little bit, okay, because he's obviously not the next Kamara. But his stats are good, and they're going to continue to be good. So here's the thing. It's hard to sell him when he's hurt, but he's not really that hurt. He's only questionable, so he could even be back this week. He won't be, but I'm just saying you could trade him, okay? Now, you got to trade him for someone really, really good. And I'm going to get to that a little bit. Some of these people are trade targets, all right? But Sony Michel's schedule is brutal, and they're going to use him a lot. So he's great. He's going to get in the goal line work, lots of carries. He's a great piece. I'm not saying fire sale, but just start trying to pick your people that are going to be good in the playoffs and dump these players while they have real high value. These guys are easy to trade, okay? If you've had a hard time trading, it's because you don't give up good players. Now let's go down to Carlos Hyde. This one is a head scratcher for me. I don't know why people are ranking Carlos Hyde where he's being ranked, because where he's being ranked is too high. This guy is a backup. He's nothing more than a handcuff, and even if he is a handcuff, he's never going to be the third down back. So even if he does get the job, he's only got first and second down. But here's the most important thing. He doesn't have the job. It's Leonard Fournette's job, okay? He's on the Jacksonville Jaguars behind Leonard Fournette. So sure, that's a good handcuff. I'm not saying just dump him off your team. Actually, what I'm saying is sell him, because a lot of people think he's got value. He doesn't, all right? So go find someone who likes him. As a matter of fact, you find someone who needs a running back. Well, today's Saturday, so you can't make a trade by tomorrow. I should have got this video out probably Tuesday. So my bad on that, you know what I mean? Anyways, Hyde is a sell high. You know, if he has a good game this week, you know, try to sell him. All right, now these are some guys I want to buy. Now, Dak Prescott I like, but I'm going to take him off this list. I kind of changed my mind a little bit. I want to recommend him to you. I just think he's being undervalued, but I wouldn't want to own him. I'm just saying he's undervalued, okay? And I don't want to get into why, because I'm not recommending him. Now, going on down to Christian McCaffrey. I told you already about my homie Cam. Now, Big Cam, he's serious business, man. He's a great quarterback. He's got that high floor because of the rushing yards. And in the playoffs, our fantasy playoffs, he's facing Atlanta and New Orleans twice. So he's going to have some points he's going to need to score to keep up, and he's got some bad defenses that can't stop anybody. So you want Cam Newton, which also means you're going to want Christian McCaffrey, because they're going to have to score, they're going to have to throw, and McCaffrey's heavily involved in the passing game. Okay, now, right now, Christian McCaffrey hasn't really done that well the past couple weeks. So his owner might be getting a little frustrated with him. And if you don't get at least 10 or more points in your league, and you're Christian McCaffrey, your owner's not happy. So that's why we come in and snatch that baby right off your hands. Oh, you're not happy with him? I'll take him off your hands. Go ahead, come here, Christian McCaffrey. I got you, baby. All right. Now, my number one trade target right now, and this was a surprise to me because once I did the research, I was like, whoa, this is the man you need right here, AJ Green. It's not his production, because his production is good. It's not his team. Obviously, everything is good. Here's the reason why it's great: the schedule. Okay, this is a schedule-based prediction video essentially, because right now the schedules actually reflect who is and who isn't really good at what. So AJ Green is going to be facing some very good situations, or I should say bad pass defenses, people who cannot stop wide receivers, and the list is long. He's one of the longest. I'm trying to get AJ Green in every league I'm in right now. So I haven't heard anybody talking about AJ Green. You heard it here. You need to draft him. Look at his position right now, and then watch where it goes on the next 8 weeks. Now, Bears, I'm not talking about easy trades. These are guys that are not going to be easy to get. But if you got some decent pieces, you can get these guys. It's okay to swap even value, because these guys have better schedules. You're going to be set up for success. So the Bears have a very favorable schedule, and they haven't done very well recently, so you could probably pull them, and you want them for your playoff run. They're the number one defense in the NFL right now, okay? Says me. Now, Collins, okay, now I'm not a Collins fan, so I'm just telling you he's got a great schedule coming up in the playoffs, so keep your eyes on him. If you have him, don't sell him, but I'm not saying give up a whole lot for him. You know what I mean? You could probably pull him for kind of cheap, but don't give up any of your super studs for Alec Collins. I'm just letting you know he's got a nice schedule. Now, Austin Ekeler, I should have put Melvin Gordon on this list, but the reason why Melvin Gordon's not here is because he's got a hamstring issue. Okay, this hamstring issues, as you've seen with Leonard Fournette, they tend to linger, and you don't want a running back with a hamstring issue, because it's going to make you lose sleep at night. But if you got Austin Ekeler, you should have a big old smile on your face, man, because anything happens to Melvin Gordon, he tweaks that hammy or he has some sort of problem, Austin Ekeler is going to be a number one running back with the finest schedule for running backs in the playoffs and heading into the playoffs. So Melvin Gordon is a super stud right now, and he's only going to get better unless his hamstring gets hurt. So you want to get Ekeler, and Ekeler's a guy you could actually get in a trade. You probably can't get Melvin Gordon. And I wouldn't ask you to get Melvin Gordon because of that hamstring. Do not buy Melvin Gordon. Buy Austin Ekeler. All right, now we're getting into Nick Chubb. Now, Nick Chubb it's not a secret. Everybody knows about Nick Chubb. But here's what they're doing. They're undervaluing him. Now, I told you 2 weeks ago to go get Nick Chubb when he was a free agent, all right? Now, I know you didn't listen to me. You just watch this video to hear what I have to say, and you do none of the advice that I give you, probably. If you do, let me know. Tell me something you followed me on. But otherwise, you're probably just looking at some of my predictions like they're crazy. But Nick Chubb, I told you to pick him up. He was less than 2% owned. The next week, they traded Carlos Hyde. So, no, I didn't see that coming, but I did recognize that Chubb is going to be a stud. The usage in Cleveland is insane. They are running the ball a lot. So expect Nick Chubb to run the ball a lot, and he hasn't even broke one yet. Wait till he breaks one. His numbers are going to go high. You won't be able to pick him up after that. So he's the guy you want to target now and get him on your team, and his schedule is very favorable. Moving on down to the homeboy Njoku. Njoku is a freakish athlete. He's on a team that's going to need to pass the ball quite a bit because their schedule puts them up against a lot of good offenses. So they're going to be passing the ball. He's getting all the targets. I think he's like tight end 10 since tight end 5 since Baker Mayfield took over. He's not being valued as high. A lot of rankers have him in the bottom 10 of tight ends. That means you could pull him. Okay, you can trade somebody for him. Trade, who are you going to trade for him? I don't know. Just try to get yourself some Njoku. If you can't get Njoku, try to get yourself some Jared Cook, okay? With Amari Cooper gone, there's going to be more targets going around. And once again, the schedule is delicious for both Njoku and Jared and Cook. We'll just call him Cook. I forget his first name. Whatever. All right, the homeboy Cam, I talked about him already. And Jordan Howard, oh, this is one of my favorites. He is being destroyed in the fantasy community right now. Like, people are dumping all over him because most of you guys are just super reactionary. All you do is look at the end score and go, oh, he only scored 5 points. He only scored 6 points. He's terrible. Should I drop Jordan Howard? Ooh, this is when you want to strike. Go get Jordan Howard. Look, last week he had a touchdown at the goal line. You saw that run. Trubisky made that run. He didn't make it to the end zone. They gave it to Jordan Howard and he scored a touchdown. Okay, but there was a holding penalty, so they took the touchdown off, and then the next play they were 5 yards back because of the holding call, and so they threw it to Cohen, and Cohen got the touchdown. But that was Jordan Howard's touchdown. But the people who didn't see that, they don't know that, do they? And the week before that, he got a touchdown again. Well, he would have had the touchdown, but he fumbled it on the end zone. So that's a touchdown each week, the last 2 weeks, that he's not getting on his scoreboard, and people don't see it. So he's still good. That dynamic offense is something you want a part of. The only part you don't want is any of the wide receivers, because the number one wide receiver in Chicago is Trey Burton. All right, so you do want Trey Burton. Get yourself some Trey Burton. The schedule's not great. That's why he's not up here. Okay, I want the best players with the best schedules, and that's how I dominate. Okay, it's a little secret sauce. And you got to look ahead to get these matchups, man. And that's why you got to make these trades right now before people really realize what you're doing. Because once the playoffs get really close, you're not going to be able to do that. Okay. So Jordan Howard, pick him up. You can get him for a half-open, stale bag of chips right now. He's you know what I mean. Just go pick him up. He's easy to scoop. Let's say next week, tomorrow, he has a couple of touchdowns. You can flip him for someone really good. Okay, but right now his value's low. You buy. His value goes up. You sell. My man, that's how we get rich in the world, and that's the same thing in fantasy. Doug Baldwin. You could probably pick him up for pretty cheap right now because he hasn't done anything all year. But last week he got 6 catches. I think he had like 9 targets. That means he's back. I mean, he's back. And he's a number 1 wide receiver. Now, he might not perform as number 1. He might be a number 2. But he's being valued like a number 4 or 5 or like a stash spot. Like, you could just pick him up for the other half of stale chips that you have in the bag that you saved from Jordan Howard. Go get yourself some Jordan Howard and some Doug Baldwin. Jared Cook, that's his name. He went to Jared. You know what I mean? So get yourself some Jared Cook. He's going to be the leading wide receiver probably. I mean, Jordy Nelson will get it, but when they get in they're looking for their stud, it's going to be between Jordy Nelson and Jared Cook. And the schedule, man, the schedule. And if your team's not making the playoffs, this video is probably not for you. You can't afford to start really doing that. Unless you're like 3-4. If you're 3-4, 4-3, don't panic, relax. You don't know how it's going to turn out yet, okay? So those are buys, people you need to go look for. The number one buy here, AJ Green and Drew Brees. Try to get both of those guys. All right, now I want to talk about Trubisky just a little bit, okay? He's not going anywhere. Now, there's a guy named Harris, Jeff Harris, Kevin Harris, something Harris. Anyway, Harris Football. I'm going to put a link down in the description to his video. He has some great fantasy videos. I highly recommend his channel. He did a video on Trubisky, and I just want to say how wrong he was. Even though he does a great job, in this particular case, he's very wrong, okay? He compared Trubisky to Blake Bortles, which is insane. It's insane. Okay, first of all, Blake Bortles has reached his ceiling. He's been around for years now. There's nothing surprising about Blake Bortles. Now, Trubisky's light years beyond him. For one, Trubisky only played 13 games in college, and he's only played 18 games in pros, which means basically he's a rookie. Okay, this is his first year, even though he was here last year as far as how many games he's played, and this is his first year under Coach Nagy. So we're talking 7 games with Coach Nagy, okay, and he already scored like 35, 43, 27, and 31. The funny and the scary thing is that he misses 3 touchdowns a game. I mean, wide open wide receivers that he doesn't even hit. That means that 47 or 43 points could have been 63. The ceiling is enormous. Okay, and on top of that, when he was in high school, he was a running back. That's why those runs are not a fluke. His rushing yards are going to keep him there. When he doesn't see something, he can't find the open guy, he's going to tuck it and run. And you notice he looks like a good runner. He puts the ball right in his thing and he runs like this. He stiff arms people. He's good. He's athletic. That's one of the reasons why they got him. So he's going to continue to do that. Okay, on top of that, Coach Nagy is a ex-quarterback who's very pass happy. They want to score. They want to go for touchdowns. You want to get Trubisky. I've been saying it since before the draft when it was unpopular. I told you. Listen, I hate to gloss myself, give me some self-gloss, but the reality is that I was the only one who made this hard stand before the season started. You can go look at my quarterback sleeper section. I told you right there you can expect Carson Wentz type numbers from Trubisky this year, and that was extremely bold. If I had more subscribers, there'd probably be a little more hoopla about it, but not enough people know that I said that. But hey, man, you know what I'm saying? I just have a knack for seeing what's going on with Trubisky. I don't know. I could see it coming a mile away. And Nagy came from the Chiefs, so the whole offense they have over there under Andy Reid with Kelsey and Hunt and Tyreek Hill, he's trying to bring that to the Bears. It's not quite the Chiefs, but it's not that far off. And if you can't get the Chiefs, you can't get Mahomes, but you can probably get Trubisky. All right. So, yeah, don't let people think that Trubisky isn't any good, because he's not that accurate, true, but he can make every throw. His accuracy is getting better. And on top of that, he's so new. He's getting better every single week. I'm totally stoked about the guy because he makes me look smart. I called it early when it was unpopular. He had a 5-point game, and I doubled down. I told you to stick with him. And he came back and dropped 6 touchdowns the very next week. So, I'm looking like Miss Cleo here. Yeah, man, Miss Cleo, you call me, I give you the future, man. No, I'm just playing. But look. All right, let's go past Trubisky now. I'm going to get into some people you can probably find on your waiver wire. Now, the running back with the most Mostert has probably already gone off your waiver wire. Mostert is probably gone now because tomorrow is the game. But if he's there, pick him up. Not to play him, okay? Just to see if you have something there. Sometimes players pop, and the coach all of a sudden realizes he has something, and that could be what's happening right now. Mostert is averaging over 7 yards a carry. So could he supplant Breida? Probably not, but Breida's injury prone, and he's definitely going to supplant Morris. So while I don't love the guy, because he's still got Breida and Morris there, for his price, which is basically nothing, you can't beat it. Okay, if he turns into something next couple weeks, now you have yourself a nice running back that you can keep or trade. So Mostert is great, and then Keke and my white tee cutie, baby. You need to go get this guy. Obviously, Fuller is out for the season, and so Keke and my white tee, he is set. He is ready to go. He's going to be the new Will Fuller. He's not going to probably have that deep game as much, but we'll see. Supposedly, he's extremely fast, so they might just put him right into the Will Fuller role. I'm not sure. But there's going to be more passes to go around with Will Fuller out, and they can't throw every ball to Hopkins, okay? So these would be 3 people that you need to pick up. And I'm going to throw some advice out there for Connor owners and Bell owners. If you're a Connor owner, here's what you need to do with Connor. You need to just hold him, okay? Because you can't dump him and you can't trade him because you won't get enough for him. You don't know for sure that Le'Veon Bell's going to be back as a Steeler. So to trade him would be very premature. And, you know, if you were going to trade him, you should have traded him already like a couple of weeks ago. All right, so now you can't just use up the asset until it's obvious he's not good anymore and then expect to trade him. You needed to trade him a couple of weeks ago when there was still some meat left on that bone for the other guy in the trade. He's got to get something out of it. You guys have to give up something when you trade, okay? That's the only way. But you just got to be able to see it before it happens. And that's how you're able to win on trades. So Connor owners, you got to hold. Here's a cool thing. You might have a number 1 running back the rest of the year. Bell might not even play again this year. You know, he might join the team and then not get to play. I don't think that's going to happen. Actually, I think the opposite, but it's possible. That's why you just hold Connor, mainly because you won't get enough for him. Now, if you're a Bell owner, chances are you're not doing too well this year. Right? If you are doing well, if you manage to do well, even though you drafted Le'Veon Bell, then just hold, baby. Okay? People think that he's not going to get to play. I'm telling you, man, this is not a friendship league. The F in NFL is not for friendship. Okay, this is a business, and Le'Veon Bell is light years beyond Connor as far as skill-wise. And so when he gets back to the team, it's most likely the whole offensive line is going to go, hey, man, welcome back, buddy. You know how the media sets everything up, and we're friends. And because the offensive line wants their boy Le'Veon Bell back. They've been together for years. They've won rushing titles together. That's like a family. So when he comes back, believe me, it's going to mend quick. And if you think Connor won't be benched, you're wrong. Okay, there's no way that they're going to be losing just because they're mad at Le'Veon Bell. No, they want to win because all those people eat off those paychecks, and this is their job to win. So they can't afford to lose. The Steelers are trying to win. They want Le'Veon Bell back, and they can't trade him because nobody's going to give up anything for him because they know it's a rental. So they're in a sticky situation, and I think he'll be back by week 12. He'll be playing by week 13. And that's my prediction, but I don't know for sure. There's all kind of things that can happen, but that's what I think. So if you're hurting, man, you need to flip Bell. If they don't give you anything for him, a lot of owners want to play it all cool like he's not worthy. Well, then, man, don't give him up. Do not give him up for nothing. You got to get something back for him. All right? So that's Le'Veon Bell. He could win your league for you. He could be the Le'Veon Bell of old, and he's rested, so he's not beat up. He's hungry. He's probably dying to get back. And the Steelers are in the middle of a playoff run. I mean, they're in the middle of a run to get to the playoffs, so they're still fighting for their division. So don't think for a second they're not going to play Le'Veon Bell. All right, that's my synopsis for the Pittsburgh running back situation. And let's go into Oakland, and this is even messier. So, no, I'm not a big fan of Doug Martin, but this is where I'm resting my hat right now. Doug Martin is the back to own in Oakland. The main reason is because, well, multiple reasons. The Raiders are committed to running the ball. And for one, Marshawn Lynch is not that good. Like, he's good, but he's not the same Marshawn Lynch he used to be. But guess what? They still give him the ball. They still commit the run. They still pound it, and eventually he breaks one because he doesn't suck. And so when Doug Martin doesn't get a first down over and over, they're still going to keep giving it to him. They're not going to start giving it to Jalen Richard. Look, Jalen Richard will get a little bit of an uptick, but if you're in a standard league, he's practically useless. He's not going to get the goal line work. He's not going to get the first down work or the second down work. So in a standard league, he's useless. Now, if you're in a PPR league, guess what? He's not even available anymore. He's been catching receptions all year long like a wide receiver. So he's already off the waivers if you're in a PPR. If you're not, if he's there, sure, pick him up if you're in PPR. But if you're in standard, you want Doug Martin. And I don't care how much you hate on Doug Martin's skill set, just keep in mind he was in Tampa Bay. And how's their running game over there now that he left? Guess what? It's the same running game it was. Maybe it wasn't Doug Martin. Maybe it was the blocking. Maybe it was the coaches. Maybe it was the offensive line over there. Because they still can't run the ball. And they even drafted a high draft pick. He can't run the ball. So let's give Doug Martin a chance here. If you got a waiver wire stash, I mean, he's probably gone now. All right? But I'm just telling you who to own. There's Jalen Richard. There's Doug Martin. I'm putting my money on Doug Martin. You know, and guess what? It's not costing you much. It ain't like you got to trade for the guy. And I'm not telling you to trade for him because in your playoffs, guess what? Marshawn Lynch is probably coming back in Week 15 to play in Oakland and you know, have his farewell game. So that's going to be your playoffs. And you got Doug Martin. You're depending on Doug Martin or Jalen Richard. No, thank you. So I'm really not on either one of them for my championship run, but they deserve a spot on your bench. And if something happens, let's say Doug Martin busts a couple touchdowns, has a big game. Well, now you've got a trade piece. Okay, and this is what we're doing. We're looking for assets that we can flip, man, into the people we really, really want. And it's okay if you overpay for the guy you really want, because you're going to win the championship. Okay, and it's going to clear up more spots for you to put on more assets from the waiver wire that can turn in. And those assets are getting slimmer, okay, because the longer we go, then people know what's going on with all the players. But, you know, get yourself some Doug Martin. And I think that's it, man. I got you a video. I mean, tomorrow morning the game starts, so I didn't really give you guys much time to look at this video. I probably should get the videos out on like Tuesdays, you know, something like that. But it's not a high priority for me. You know, I love making these videos. I love fantasy football. So if you like this video, make sure you like it. Show me that that it matters, and I'll make it a higher priority. I'll put out more videos more regularly, and you know, maybe I'll even do some live videos or something and take questions or something like that. All right, doggy dog, so that's my story. I'm sticking to it. If you've never been here before, if you just happen on this channel, homie, subscribe. I guarantee your fantasy team will be better off for it, because this is, hate to self-gloss, but this is probably the best fantasy advice in the world. I seriously haven't found anybody better than me. There's a couple people that I think are on point, you know, but better, you know, I've seen a lot that are worse. I hope you don't follow Matthew Berry, because, listen, I have a lot of respect for Matthew Berry, because he was toting this rock of fantasy football before anybody even knew what fantasy football was, and he deserves respect. But when it comes to his skill level, no. You cannot win with Matthew Berry. I am sorry. He's average at best, and that's with all due respect, because I like to watch his shows. I've actually had to condition myself to never click on a Matthew Berry video, because I don't even want that input in my head. He's, you know, every time I listen to him, it has ruined me, and so that's how I learned that I'm actually better. And when I go against him, I win more often than not. So I don't know how I turned this video into a dump on Matthew Berry session, but I don't really mean it like that. Much respect to Mr. Berry. So that's it, my homies. That's my video for the week. Like I said, shoot me a like, subscribe, comment, man. Get some juice going down there. I will answer your questions. Not because I'm desperate to get my channel up, but because I love fantasy football. I can just talk about it all the time. You know, I'm good at it. And anything you're good at is fun, right? So, that's it, man. I can just keep on ranting here. You don't even have to be listening anymore. I'm done. But listen, if you think I'm a chump, write chump down below. Or if you think I'm cool, write cool. But I doubt you motherfuckers will say cool. You know. Yeah, man, give me some interaction. Show me that you're live. Show me that you're out there. And show those other motherfuckers that you're out there too. Dang, did I just cuss again? I'm trying not to cuss on these videos, but it's hard, you know, because that's how I normally talk. All right, I'm out. Peace.